What's going on, real ones? I know I'm a little late on my upload of my episode 3 review of The Curse of Oak Island. I had some things I had to do this weekend and over Monday, but we're back. I'm in it with this review, and we're going to get into this episode because episode 3 was pretty good. All right. So, first up, right now, they're digging in a new location in the money pit within the Golden Egg, still trying to narrow down where these anomalous hits of the silver and gold in the water could be coming from. All right. And that's basically it of that. And it's FN 15.5 of where they're going to be digging it. All right. But they have a new idea what they're going to be doing. All right. So back when not Fred Nolan, but the Restalls were digging on the island back in the day, they thought and believed they had found the connection point of the flood tunnels, and they had found a shaft that went all the way down, in which they believed went all the way to the flood tunnel and in an access point to cut the water off to the money pit, so that people back before the money pit was dug, you know what I'm saying, could go in and out of the vault, you know what I'm saying, of the money pit without the seawater causing any trouble. So what they did is they pumped a shit ton of cement into that hole to try to block off the water, but the cement didn't set right. All right. And this is what they're going to be talking about right here.
There's rewind back to last year with the Dumas shaft, and they were drilling out of the bottom of the shaft, and then we've had.
Yep. When they had dug out the Dumas shaft down at the bottom, and when they was digging at the bottom of that new shaft, they had they hit the flood tunnel when they was digging down, and I'm talking about water was just coming all up into the damn thing.
Salt water rush in. Yeah, we did.
See?
In 1959,
history lesson.
Motorcycle daredevils Robert and Mildred Restall moved to Oak Island with their sons, 18-year-old Bobby Jr. and 9-year-old Ricky, to pursue Robert's dream of solving the mystery. Living in small cabins with no electricity or plumbing, they braved the elements for more than 5 years, while focusing their efforts at Smith's Cove. There, they worked by hand to find the so-called convergence point, where 5 stone box drains formed a single flood tunnel connected to the money pit. But on August 17, 1965, while working in a 27-foot deep shaft that he believed was close to reaching the flood tunnel, Robert, along with Bobby and 2 other men, tragically lost their lives when poisonous hydrogen sulfide gas mysteriously emitted from the bottom of the pit.
The real tragedy.
All right. And they believe they have found said convergence point and are going to be digging not at the point itself, because it's in high tide right now, so they have to come upland a little bit and dig up in the island a little bit, so they don't have to, you know what I'm saying, deal with the water. Okay. See, this is
Robert Restall Sr. and his son Bobby Jr. were astonished when they uncovered what appeared to be a 1.5-foot diameter, 32-foot deep stone-lined shaft on the beach at Smith's Cove. It was Robert's belief that the so-called vertical shaft was created by the original treasure depositors as a way to shut off the flow of seawater into the money pit in order to access the buried valuables. In an effort to clog the flood trap, Robert mixed concrete and poured it into the shaft. But unfortunately, most of the mixture did not properly set and failed to stop the water flow.
Exactly. Because if they can find that convergence point where the water from the ocean is going into the money pit and they could cut it off, that would significantly improve their chances, you know what I'm saying, of reducing any obstacle. And that's the main obstacle, is the flood tunnel. So out here, this is some of the spoils of Lot 5 when they're digging at that, when they found that circular feature out there. This is more of the spoils from at that point. And they find something.
It's a nice little button, mate. All right. Look at that. Nice.
But there's something about this button that makes it unique a unique find and different than the other buttons that they have found on the island.
Very round, does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, these rounded buttons were normally tunic buttons.
Tunic buttons. So that means that's not a general. That's somebody of high noble class. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the case, that would explain the barter token. That would explain the cut coin that they also found at right here, because that's who was going to be paying people. You know what I'm saying? That's who's going to be paying people. But there's another find that they find out here that backs up that claim even more.
What have we got here, Craig? That feels like lead. I think I know what that is, mate. I think that's a coin weight. Yeah, that looks like an old coin weight.
And if that's a coin weight and they're weighing coins, people are getting paid, maybe some treasures getting moved around, and they want to keep an accurate record and document what coins is going in, what coins are coming out. You know what I'm saying? And who's going to be doing some stuff like that if not a nobleman? Okay? So, like I said, this episode was pretty fire. And coin weights go back to Mesopotamian times, all right? But why are they on the island? You know what I'm saying? If it was just some people just on there just digging around and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And now this is the chemical makeup of the coin and the button that they had found, because they have all of these tools and what I'm trying to get it just right. They have all of these tools on the island, you know what I'm saying? Just in case they need to test some things so they can get a preliminary scan of these objects and whatnot without having to send them off. You know what I'm saying? Skinwalker Ranch, get you some.
It's a copper iron alloy, and it does have a high content of lead in it. No aluminum, so that's good. There's no severe indicators that it is modern.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
So I would fit the composition to 1700s to early 1800s English.
And this is the button she's talking about right
This
now.
is the best image I could get.
And that's a
think what
very
it says is
unique style button. Like, this looks like a very fancy button. You know what I'm saying? Not like for like a general or someone high ranking in the military. Like, this looks like a nobleman's button, like somebody or an aristocrat or somebody. You know what I'm saying? This is them debating over if it's a coin weight because of the composition of what the coin weight is made out of.
Interesting.
What do you think that is?
It's lead. It weighs 26.2 grams. Gary thought it was a coin weight.
Whenever you find a shaped piece of metal like this, especially if it's bronze or lead, it's usually a coin weight. Now, this is large, but I was thinking maybe it's a weight for a large coin.
It would be a very large coin.
When you say very large coin, what?
Well, the largest coins back in the day would have been gold.
The phosphorus content, it's extremely high, and you don't see that in lead alloys until mid-20th century. However, lead isn't my wheelhouse.
So we have a conundrum, because I think the problem with it being modern is we're not finding other modern artifacts on Lot 5.
Exactly. They don't know what it is. They know it's lead. It could be a coin weight, but it also couldn't be a coin weight. You know what I'm saying? Because, like she said, it has a modern looking composition based on the alloys that it's made out of. But at the same time, they're not finding any more of them. You know what I'm saying? This is the only one really of this like this that they have found. So now if they find another one that is of the same, then we'll know. So In the Money Pit wasn't too fruitful this episode. I'm gonna be honest with you. Not the money pit, but digging in the golden egg wasn't too fruitful. But out there in the Smith's Cove, there were some that were they trying to find a convergence point. There was something very curious that was found that Rick pointed out. This is why reading history, all of the documents they done gathered, all of the survey maps, all of the people they've talked to. This is why doing your homework is important.
So there's a chance we've hit the flood tunnels?
This is the first bucket that has a bunch of same size cobble.
At Smith's Cove,
See?
Rickley
And when you
had
start
just
finding
uncovered
shit
large
like that,
more than
you know what I'm saying? Of all of these stones, You know what I'm saying? All of these things that are just the same. Now that's human interaction right there. Some humans put those stones like that.
Below the
They're all roughly the same size.
See that? See that?
This,
See that?
this.
All uniform, all roughly the same size of a head. You know what I'm saying? I'm going back over because Dr. Spooner here is bringing them some information of that is based upon their dig and how they should be proceeding with the dig. You know what I'm saying? Not the putting the casings into the ground, but the probe drilling where they're just poking holes in the ground trying to find where it is. They've been doing that in their trying to test the ground and the water to see where the gold and the silver and they're getting these hits from. But Dr. Ian Spooner has some developments that are just listen.
Protocols to try to detect some serious concern.
And see, this is why I'll throw this in here. This is why Rick and Marty and the team, the fellowship, are so successful finding out where to put the casing in, where to drill, where to dig, where to search, because they take in all of these expert opinions, you know what I'm saying? Actual expert opinions of people in the field. You know what I'm saying? That's why they go to these blacksmiths. You know what I'm saying? Like in I think it was the previous episode where they went to Ireland, to Scotland, Ireland, one of them. They had went over there and they had talked to an actual Viking blacksmith that used these old techniques. And they're like, hey, could somebody be made like this using them? They go and they talk to these experts and they get all of the information, all of the data that they can before making a determination. You know what I'm saying? They're not just out here willy-nilly just putting holes in the ground like they don't know where to look. No. They got survey data. They have old maps. You know what I'm saying? They got the historical records. They talk to the experts. You know what I'm saying? They know what they're doing. When they're talking to Ian Spooner right here, it's because something important is about to be said. All right.
Concerns about progression of the drill program and where we locate it. And so, Ian,
and they take all of that into consideration.
So the water samples I've taken in the ag, we haven't seen any data at all for precious metals. That's the challenge we're facing. So why? Because this anomaly we're chasing is precious metal, and the metals accumulate in the water because it's probably coming from the bottom of a shaft or a tunnel where it is sealed quite nicely. And so the problem with just continuing to drill in the egg is when we do penetrate it with a drill, that water disseminates, that anomaly disseminates. We call it, in my world, a dispersal plume.
So basically what he's saying is all of the treasure and everything where they were getting these gold and silver hits, you know what I'm saying, is in this box or tunnel, you know what I'm saying, underground cavern or whatnot. And every time they stick a damn probe drill down into the ground and they drilling down there, it's stirring up the water. You know what I'm saying? It's stirring up the water so they can't get an accurate read of where the metals could be coming from. So he's basically telling them that they're gonna have to stop drilling for right now. They have to stop drilling, stop probe drilling right now. Let all of that that's down there settle. You know what I'm saying? Then retest to see where they need to go next. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he's saying right here. But I believe there's one more thing that happened. Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah. They did find something down there that goes along with what they were looking for. Okay, I'm glad I started it right there too.
Yeah.
They found some cement down there. Okay.
While searching for a man-made flood tunnel that is believed to divert seawater into the Oak Island Bunny
if
Pit.
they could get this cement tested, if they could get the compositions of the cement tested to see what it's made out of, they could then determine when it was created and put into the hole. And if it comes back to be when the Restalls put that cement down there, they're cooking. Because then they found exactly where the Restalls was trying to cut off the seawater. And if they found the place where the Restalls believed they was trying to cut off the seawater, they could cut off the seawater as well.
Well, you know what we we've been looking for, right? The story of the Restalls pouring cement.
And this is why I'm sorry I keep pausing it, but this is why I like the team that they got the youngsters, you know what I'm saying? This is his nephew, you know what I'm saying? They got my boy Gary, the metal detector expert, but this is Rick, one of the owners, and they're not afraid to get their hands dirty too. You know what I'm saying? They're not afraid to get down in the grime and in the dirt, in the rocks, and put their hands and start digging too. You know what I'm saying? Because they be using heavy equipment. They be down there with their shovels and picks. Because I remember season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what I'm saying? When it was them that was going through in boots and muck. And you know what I'm saying? I remember all of that. I remember that. Carrying the boards through the fucking swamp and shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like this show. Because the people that is paying the people ain't afraid to get down there too. They own the island. You know what I'm saying? Rick and Marty, they own the island, or most of it, I believe. And they're not afraid to get down there with them. You know what I'm saying? And I like that. I respect that.
Significant discovery.
Is it concrete?
Yeah. It's a good eyeballing.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely a chunk of concrete. And if, like I said, if they could get this concrete tested and check the composition of the concrete and determine when those, you know what I'm saying, the composition of the concrete was made, you know what I'm saying? Because they could test the isotopes, you know what I'm saying? And determine when that, you know what I'm saying, when it was made, when it was put down there, all of that shit. And if it comes back to being when the Restalls was there, they know they found their location.
I would remind you that the Restalls, when they tried to shut off the supply, if you will, of water for flooding the money pit, they poured concrete down in the shaft. And then supposedly they let loose. Because
when they was putting when the Restalls was putting the concrete into the pit, into that shaft that they had found, that 1 by 5 meter by 34, 32 foot shaft, you know what I'm saying? When they was putting the concrete down there, it didn't set right. You know what I'm saying? So when it didn't set right, it shifted and it didn't successfully stop the water. All in all, that's all that happened in this episode. You know what I'm saying? That's all that really happened in this episode of Oak Island, season 12, episode 3. I want to say 4, 3 or 4. It'll be in the title. It's in the title. You saw it. But yeah, I'm waiting on the next episode. We'll be trying to get that uploaded in a quicker fashion than I did this one. All right. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode in my review down in the comment section below. And hey, this is your boy signing off. See you on the next one. Peace.
Yeah.